Well, if you're thinking about getting a mortgage in this brand new year, there are some things you might want to avoid. Frank Napolitano from Mortgage Brokers Ottawa joins us this morning. Good morning to you, my friend.
Morning.
And I think this is a great topic. You know, we often do, do's and don'ts. Today, we're focusing on just the don'ts.
Just the don'ts. And there's lots of don'ts because it's amazing how many people will drive 6 blocks to save a tenth of a cent on gas and don't shop around their mortgage. It's just, to me, it's always amazing to hear people say, I don't know, I think I'm good with what the bank offers. No, there's better out there. There's better out there, and your bank will probably do better too. So
I love that. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is not getting locked into some fixed rates. So what's the don'ts when it comes like that?
Well, again, I mean, when your renewal comes up, you need to act on it. You can't wait until after renews, because some banks will put you automatically into a 6-month closed. Some might put you into a 5-year closed, and you've lost your negotiating power now. So, but if your renewal is 4 or 5 months away, also don't fall for you should lock in now, especially considering most people have an interest rate, if they took it 5 years ago, starts with a 1, maybe a 2, and today they're in the 3s and 4s. So I think you want to wait it out until closer to maturity date, especially since the likelihood of interest rates going up is pretty slim. They're more likely to come down over the next 3 or 4 months than go up, so you're better off to wait.
So what are some major things, because I'm sure you've seen so many different cases. Can you highlight a couple of don'ts when it comes to the renewal where they signed right away, and then probably when you look months down the line, they probably lost thousands of dollars?
They did lose thousands of dollars, and they do, because they listen to their bank and they trust their bank, and they don't get that second or third opinion. And I've always said to them, why would your bank tell you now you're at 1.59 until May? In what world does it make sense for you to lock in now and give up that 1.59 for the next 3 months? It doesn't make any sense unless in theory, the only time it would make sense is if interest rates go up in the next 3 months, but nobody's calling for that to happen. So why would you lock in now? Why? Because the bank is looking to retain you, and they make a little bit of extra money. By now, you're not paying 1.59 for the next 3 months, you're paying 4%.
Right.
So it doesn't, again, do what's best for you. The other things on renewals, when you get a renewal, when the bank calls you and they give you a rate 3 months in advance, and again, the reason I say that is because they want you to renew today and give up your rate for the 3 months. Don't give it up. Tell them to lock in the rate and hold it for you until maturity date, then that makes sense. But again, I mean, the bank will be more aggressive as you get closer to your maturity date. So if your maturity date's in May, they're not going to give you the best rate now. You're going to get the best rate in April, because now in April, you can go shop your mortgage around. The closer you get to your maturity date, the likelihood they think that you might be going somewhere else, so they'll sharpen their pencils.
And I think it's always important too, right? Just have those other conversations like with yourself, other people, because why lock in before you shop around a little bit? There's no harm, only gain that you can get from doing that. Right. I want to talk about taking advantage of equity on this front.
There's a lot of people that, whether you bought a house 5 years ago or whether you just did your mortgage 5 years ago, in 2021, we saw a lot of price growth on homes in Ottawa. The first half of 22, we saw some price growth. Then we saw them go the other way around, but not to the degree that they went up for that year and a half. And over the last 2 years, it's been pretty steady. So you've got some equity in your home. If you're carrying high interest debt or your payments are too high, a lot of people they don't need additional money, but what they're concerned about is the fact that their rates are 1.59, and they've got 20 years left on their amortization. Now the rate's going up to 389, 399. So therefore, their payment goes up more than they can really afford. So it's going to change their lifestyle. One of the options that people are doing is they're asking if they can increase their amortization from 20 now to 30 years to keep that payment the same. But most banks are saying, nope, if you renew, here's the rate, and you're going to keep the same amortization. And if you do it as a refi, we're going to charge you more. But you should be able to avoid that cost by going shopping and going somewhere else. So do your homework, but if you've got a high interest debt, for sure, you definitely want to move it into the equity, take advantage of the equity in your home.
Well, especially right now in 2026, where everything just seems to cost a little bit more, and people are starting with those renewals with the big difference in those interest rates. Frank, we always appreciate your time giving us some, not do's, but don'ts this time around.
Well, yeah, the don'ts, but again, the don'ts are going to keep thousands of dollars in one's pocket. And
that's what we do. Frank from Mortgage Brokers Ottawa, always appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure.